These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? They're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
X gonna give it to you. Fuck waiting for you to get it on your own. X gonna deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up the door. It's real with the non-stop pop-pop of stainless steel. Go hard, getting busy with it.
Two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's barley basket.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of America's Barley Basket. My name is Marlon Wells. Alongside me, Nathan Fulsabach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlon.
How are you?
Just still recovering emotionally from those DMX bars we just threw down.
Yeah, we really gave it to you.
We really did. America's Barley Basket, gonna give it to you.
Oh, my God.
They quite have the same ring to it.
Yeah, DMX and ABB, two very different things. One of them is two chubby guys sitting on a couch talking about The Simpsons.
We hardly ever ride four-wheelers.
Yeah, not anymore. No. Man, what a thing from the past that was a daily occurrence for me anyway.
You could get one in here. You want to be able to
in this living room?
Yeah. I mean, just to kind of relive. Just you back it up 10 feet going forward 10 feet, maybe hopping up and down so you can kind of get the suspension popping a little bit.
Suspension a little.
Yeah. We have fun. Then go to bed.
God, there's not a lot of room in this living room.
Oh my God! If you could somehow like build ramps going up the wall, so it's almost like a half pipe in here. Knocking holes in the ceiling because you're hitting it when you're four-wheeling.
It's fucking loud.
Yeah. It's a two-stroke.
Exhaust is filling the apartment.
It's a Yamaha Blaster. It sounds like a dirt bike.
The hell is that boy doing over there?
Oh, he's getting AMSOIL dropped off. Jeez, that's something I haven't thought of in a while.
Wow.
You're Gucci if you had AMSOIL. You took care of your shit if you're using AMSOIL.
I don't think I've ever seen AMSOIL in the flesh. I've just seen the logo on NASCARs.
I think we maybe started using AMSOIL on the snowmobiles at one point.
Now you're just bragging.
Because I'm sure at some point someone's said that, oh yeah, you're going to make your shit last way longer. You're losing money not using it. Just everyone decided.
Yeah.
Yep.
You snowmobile kids.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Not gonna lie, and haven't quit ever since.
Yeah. That's again something that was my life from ages 12 to 16. I wonder who the president was the last time I got on a snowmobile. Probably George Jr. I don't think I've even rode during the Obama administration, and that's sad. We don't even have an old one around the house anymore back home.
Is it because of Obama? Were you depressed about the presidency?
How can one even,
Yeah, you were like, McCain, man, that was my guy.
Big Papa McCain in my life.
Big Papa McCain. Oh, boy.
Good times. I wish we could have got McCain in 2000 instead of George Jr., but that's a different podcast.
Yeah, it's a very different podcast.
Mm-hmm. Much sadder one.
You know who hasn't referenced the McCain at all?
Who's that?
The Simpsons.
What?
I don't think we've gotten a
really?
John McCain show.
Funny that we haven't.
I don't know, especially like they've done plenty of political material.
I'm guessing we will in a couple years when McCain ran for president and got the Republican nom. We're not too far from that.
I don't know that we've even gotten much in the way of Bushy Jr. references.
Yeah, I mean, we get some real hot takes in this batch here about the war.
Yeah.
You're right. We don't have a lot of him on camera like we had George Sr.
Yeah.
I wonder if they just shy away from that.
I think that George Sr. Dennis the Menace episode was pretty universally disliked.
Yep.
So maybe they were like, well, we're not doing that again.
Yeah. But we still have lots of Bill Clinton. We got a lot of Clinton on camera.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know.
So we'll see as the show goes along. We still got 20 seasons. There's plenty of presidents they can still have. What if we get any Trump?
I bet we do. I bet we get I've seen the Family Guys that were on all through Trump, and they fucking went for it.
Did they?
But it's a different show. You know?
Yeah.
Like they're a little more prone to go for it. I think,
they're a little more.
Simpsons.
They wear their politics on their sleeve a little more on that show.
Yeah, Simpsons have a little bit of more of a Michael Jordan approach to politics.
But our first episode of this batch is Bush free, as far as I recall.
Yeah.
We're in season 18, episode 4, Treehouse of Horror 17. I did it.
You did it. I think you passed it.
I think I might have shook it. Yeah, I might have shook that. Yep.
I think you shook the terror.
And I don't even have to explain how these work at this point. We're getting 3 little stories. Pretty tame opener with Mr. Burns as the crypt keeper.
Yeah.
Like
the Mo in the Iron Maiden, and then the blood spells out the words. Is I thought was like, okay, all right.
It was fine. But we've had some real like involved openers that were like a couple minutes long.
Yeah.
But this kind of goes back to getting into the stories a little bit quicker here.
I wasn't a crypt keeper watcher, or like a Tales from the Crypt watcher. So like I get the reference, but I don't know anything about.
When I think of Tales from the Crypt, I think of either being at a friend's house, shout out to Damien, that had HBO, or being like in a hotel.
Sure.
When I think of Tales from the Crypt, I think of the 90s and HBO and like it being kind of like a forbidden fruit. You know? Like trying to think of what else would HBO's pre-Sopranos prestige original programming was always a weird mix. You had Tales from the Crypt. We had Mr. Show. You know, like the Bob and Dave.
Which I've never seen still.
Yeah. And then there was a long-running, like, I think it was kind of like a sitcom, but it wasn't in front of a live studio audience, called, oh my God, Dream On. Yeah, like it ran for multiple seasons. Like who was like Arliss. There was a show about like a fictitious show about a sports agent named Arliss. And like the thing was every episode there'd be real athletes playing themselves.
That was the appeal.
Yeah, and then again, successful show. I think, what was the prison show? Oz was the one that like, they could put out like gritty drama.
I think of Oz as the first of the HBO series.
That was the domino.
When you think of, Sopranos, Wire, fucking, and everything ever
Everything, yeah.
I think of Oz as being the first one of those. You ever seen Oz?
No, I've shout out to Ken who listens to this. He was always a stan for Oz.
I like Oz.
Yeah, I've heard it's good, yeah.
J.K. Simmons, who we see later in this episode.
Yeah.
Mostly, who's probably most well known for for being J. Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man films, and the Farmers Insurance guy, has a great he's great on that show.
Is he? Yeah.
He plays like the head of the fucking Aryan gang.
Oh, yeah.
And it's crazy to see him as that, because I know him as J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man.
I can't think of his name. I'm trying to think of he's the black Ghostbuster that joins the Ghostbusters after they've already got started. It's not Ray Winston, is it? What's the actor's name? Doesn't he have a role on that show? You're not a Ghostbusters guy.
I don't like. Yeah, it's not that I don't like Ghostbusters. I don't revel in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Because when you say black Ghostbuster, I think Ernie Hudson.
It's Ernie Hudson then.
Okay. There we go.
Does he have a part on that show?
Yes, I think so.
I think his character's name was Winston Zeddemore on Ghostbusters. That's why I was thinking Winston. Fucking Winston's a baller ass first name.
A good fucking
Holy
name.
shit.
Yep.
I was going to call my mom and say, he couldn't made me a Winston.
You can change it.
You know where I'd be right now?
A name change involves some paperwork, but other than that, it's pretty cheap.
I think once the die is cast, you have to roll.
I think you could be Winston Folsabach if you really wanted to.
I think you got to be bored of Winston so you can get used to the accoutrements that you need to pull off. Like, I don't own an ascot. I don't.
That's true.
I would need.
That's true.
Pocket
I've never
squares.
seen you in a vest.
Yeah, I would have to rent a cummerbund. Oh, yeah.
In my head, if you are Winston tomorrow, you're wearing a cream-colored dress shirt rolled up to the elbows and a dark brown vest. Smoking a cigarette. You've picked up smoking.
Okay.
In the next 24
I would have to
hours.
have some kind of bright colored pocket square.
Sure.
There's got to be a little flair with
I
the
see
Winston.
it like a purple, something from the purple family.
Yeah. Maybe a mixture of colors even. We can have fun.
That's
Winston's
how I
have
see
fun.
It. And you've shaved down to just the Van Dyke.
Oh, God.
The long goat and mustache combo.
Yeah.
Yep, that's how I see it.
God, the fucking Van Dyke is a good fucking name drop for a facial hairstyle.
Yep. I think you could make this happen if you weren't a coward, but here we are.
I'm with you. I just don't think. I think I've spent too many years as a basic bitch Nathan. I don't think I have the fucking. chutzpah to pull
I
off
would
being.
appreciate you being a Winston just so A, I could know a Winston because I don't know one, and B, it would lighten up my Nathan load in my phone. I know too many Nathans.
Oh, really?
It's
Yeah,
I know too many Nathans, too many Brandons, and too many Sarahs.
oh yeah,
I am at capacity on all of those.
Yeah, I have one very good friend named Nathan and a couple good friends named Nathan and a couple acquaintances.
Yeah.
All within 7 years of age, probably.
There's too many.
They really went hard on in the Nathan paint from like 77 to 84.
A lot of Nathans, a lot of Brandons.
You don't meet many 60-year-old Nathans. You don't meet many 20-year-old Nathans.
No.
I think. Yeah. So that's a Nathan talk. So we'll see you next. We'll see you next month.
And we're done.
There we go.
Wrapping it up.
Our first of the 3 Treehouse stories is Married to the Blob. You kind of know where this one's going. We're going to get a Blob story, which, funny, we haven't yet.
Yeah, that's a classic that they haven't touched yet.
Speaking of that's a classic, though, have you ever seen like the 50s Blob or the 80s remake?
I've never seen either of them, but I've heard it. I've seen that pointed to as, yo, sometimes the remake is better than the original.
I've heard that, and I never would have guessed it because I know it was financially a flop. Because I remember I was a kid, but I remember seeing commercials for it, so it was like in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I know it ate shit, but like I've heard that it's a fun movie. It's like
I've heard that,
or maybe not even fun. Maybe it's like a good scary movie, like because I think it's kind of gory. I think it's probably an R-rated movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Rob Zombie wanted to remake that for the longest time. I think he eventually stopped trying.
I think the original like black and white Blob. It's I think a very young Steve McQueen. That was his first movie role. He was like the teenage boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like oh, we got to make sure Betty Lou doesn't get attacked by this giant slimy thing.
Lou.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like everybody to the sock hop. So. They're in the backyard. A meteor lands there's a mysterious green substance in the middle of it. Of course, Homer eats it.
Yep. And Arby's catching a little shrapnel here.
Because there was a very good visual gag of that blob trying to escape through his head holes. He just keeps snorting back in. It's like, if I could hold down Arby's, I could hold down you. Which,
Poor Arby's.
Yeah. Why does Arby's get that rap?
Arby's doesn't deserve it.
No.
Yeah.
Like,
we are known Arby's supporters on this show.
Yeah. Or I just think Arby's is no grosser than any other fast food.
Right.
Like.
I would argue that it's better than a lot of it.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to take the buns off of an Arby's sandwich compared to a McDonald's sandwich.
Right.
Like, I know it's probably fucking some weird lab-created animal, but at least their roast beef looks like roast beef. Mm-hmm. A fucking McDonald's burger, if you take a look at it, could ruin your summer. It's just like, this is not food.
And I know that the Arby's roast beef comes in some gelatinous loaf. I don't care.
Yeah, right? It's tasty.
Delicious.
when it passes through the de-loafinization process and it's all feathery, oh, man.
I'm going to unloaf it with my gut anyway.
Yep,
fucking bring it on.
It all gets unloafed inside me.
You could get mozzarella sticks at a drive-thru.
Yeah,
Come
you're
on,
right.
baby
Yeah.
girl.
And not trash mozzarella. They're not. I mean, there's
decent ones.
Yeah.
All right.
For fast food, they're better than they should be.
I'm gonna find some Bronco berry sauce and just be doing fucking shots of it any day now.
So because now he has blob in him, he's very hungry. And he eats all the food in the house the first night. Then he turns on the pets.
Yeah.
And he attempts to eat Bart, but Marge talks him out of it. Then he just now he's loose in the city, and now it's just blob madness ensues.
Yeah, just eating people.
He eats the dorky teenage boy. They have a barbecue sauce fight, which is good, just tempting him too much.
Yeah. And then really starts targeting the obese people of Springfield.
Yeah, he really goes after the butter chunks.
With a fucking Sir Mix-a-Lot redux.
Which I think that is Sir Mix-a-Lot. Yeah,
it's him doing it. They had him do a new version of Baby Got Back.
About instead of big butts, he likes fat folks or something like that. So he's just crushing the fat. He's humongous too. He's like the size of a small building.
Yeah.
And he is intercepted by Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil tries to convince him that he's eating for reasons outside of hunger. And then he brings the family there, and they, Marge is pleading with him, and then I think he says that he misses his family, he misses Marge, he misses Marge in a marital way, a polite way of saying that, and Marge is like, yeah, bro, I don't want to fuck a 40,000 pound literal blob, like. And then they like, well, what are we gonna do? Well, during this he also eats Dr. Phil, which I enjoy that happened. And then the agreement is pretty good that they just have him inside the homeless shelter, and they just fucking, what is it? It's like we got warm beds, square meals, and homeless women.
Yeah.
And I love that, like 6 of the 7 just happily burst through the door, and then the other one has the dog. It's like, I don't know what to think about this, Blue. And Blue sniffs the door and just peels out of there, and they just shove that
Quimby just throws him through the door. And I like that it's not like, oh, Homer is inside this building waiting and he's going to eat you.
Yeah.
He has his mouth puckered over the door so that as soon as you will step through the door, you are in Homer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a fun ending. I thought that ending was very funny.
Yep, I agree. The second one we have is you got to know when to golem,
which I thought was very good work on the titling.
Bart goes to a taping of the Krusty Show, and he ends up backstage. He's kind of gets it. I think it's the props department. He's just looking around. Yeah. It's like, oh, there's the mini car all those clowns drowned in.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Jesus.
And he discovers a giant clay statue, which he finds out is Krusty's golem, which Krusty uses to do his bidding. How it works is you write down a command, you put it in its mouth, which I wonder if that is like true with true Hebrew golem lore.
That comes from somewhere. The stone golem protector.
Yeah, but I mean like the note thing in the mouth.
I think so.
Interesting.
I think that comes from something, if I'm not mistaken.
So then it becomes he becomes Bart's, henchman. And so it's got to, oh man, there's a great, because he sneaks the note and come to my bedroom at midnight.
Yeah.
He thinks that it's the golem because there's like grunting and groaning and
big footsteps.
Heavy footsteps. Yeah. And it's just drunk Homer. Just like, I passed out on your turtle and killed it. Which is such a great thing for a drunk dad to do. Like
to burst in and wake up his son to tell him that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the false alarm, but the golem does show up, and Bart uses the golem to get back at his bullies, and he kills them.
Yep,
he removes their heads
Murders
from their
the
body.
3 bullies.
Because Lisa has a great line. It's Bart, did you use your mystical Jewish monster to kill those bullies? Like that's something that happens on a regular basis. And then. Lisa comes. I bet he doesn't even want to kill people, and he maybe just says "speak"
on a note. Yeah,
and I don't know if that's Richard Lewis doing
Fucking
the voice.
A, right?
Yeah,
it is.
I figured. Yeah,
I love Richard Lewis.
Yeah.
As soon as it started talking, I was like, "Oh yes, good."
Richard Lewis, one of those comics that's been around forever, that is always just does enough to stay in that, because like he was a big recurring character on Curb Your Enthusiasm even recently.
Yep.
I remember he had I think he had a few failed sitcoms. I know he had one in the mid-90s called Hecker and Decker or something like that. I'm trying to think with him and Kevin Nealon. There was a Richard Lewis, Kevin Nealon mashup. I'm pretty sure that was who was in that sitcom with him. And then, I mean, he was big enough. He was having huge HBO specials in the 80s, Richard Lewis. Like, he was in a mid-90s indie drama movie called Drunks, just set at like a AA meeting, which is a cool concept for a movie, just kind of following their lives as they try to get clean and shit. Like,
yeah. I know him from Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Fuck, he's
is
the king.
First thing I know him from.
Jesus,
he has the mole that moves every scene that he's in, and he's such a fucking wuss. Like,
is he the king or is he the sheriff?
He's not the sheriff.
He's the king.
He's the false king. You know, because he's gone while King Richard is there, or he's king while King Richard is gone.
Yeah.
Should I watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I've only seen episodes of it. Every time I watch it, I'm like, why don't I watch every episode of this?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you enjoy Seinfeld?
I've probably seen half a dozen episodes of Seinfeld.
Fucking insane. It's so insane.
We weren't a TV family.
But I mean, man, you've owned a television in the last 25 years as an
have
adult.
you, but here we are watching The Simpsons because we never saw it.
That is true.
Like, so don't come at me, bro.
Point taken. I'm doing a motion with my finger right now. I'm tallying. If those of you, if you want to picture what I'm doing right now, I am tallying a point.
Good pantomime work. Really using the space.
Really, yeah. Thank you.
And Seinfeld is on Netflix now. I should watch it. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if I can watch a highly acclaimed show that I've never seen before without making a podcast about it. So
you should just do that one alone
by myself.
What a rabbit hole of insanity to fall down into. Just sitting in your bedroom in the dark.
So and then Elaine did something. I believe it's written here. Little Kicks.
Yeah, I had a Sunday school teacher named Elaine. She often had perms. She liked to perm her hair. Episode 14.
I'm doing the episode about the masturbation game, but I don't get it. I don't get what they're talking about. Yeah. What is this game? Is it dice? Are they all bad at dice?
I have to rewind. I must have missed something here.
What is the deal?
Then you got to 3 episodes of the podcast later, you have to issue an amendment. Listen, in 3 episodes ago, apparently they were talking about masturbating. So
listen, gang, I read all the emails.
Yeah, right.
I got all your mean tweets.
I get it now. I goofed.
I'm a delicate boy.
So now the golem talks. He's very stereotypically Jewish, and it turns out he does not want to kill, but he is still he's a golem. So
he's extremely neurotic.
So something is put in his mouth. He has to do it. He ends up kind of accidentally killing Skinner.
Yeah, yo-yoing him on that giant rope.
Ends up just sawing him in half. That's what. On that note, I did like that how violent. We're getting back to the violence of the early.
Yeah,
because we had a few that kind of shied away, but this one is a very violent episode. A lot of people dying in this one, which I like because it's such a departure from the regular Simpsons.
We were pretty tame with the tree houses there for a while.
Yeah. Bart eventually just kind of gets tired of the golem because again he's very neurotic. He's just talk, and so they create a Play-Doh bride for him, which I like. And then she is voiced by Fran Drescher, has to be, also very stereotypically Jewish.
Yep.
And they get married, and they do a traditional Jewish ceremony, and that's kind of it for that one. That's okay.
Pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard Lewis bumps things up a whole letter grade for me. I went from okay to oh fuck, it's Richard Lewis.
The third and final is The Day the Earth Looks Stupid. It's 1938 in Springfield. The H.G. Wells War of the Worlds radio broadcast is causing this the fine citizens of Springfield, who, again, they mob up in a hurry. They get dumb in a hurry, too.
Yep.
They're losing their goddamn minds because they think aliens are attacking. They destroy half the city, kill countless people. Homer shoots a couple people. And then someone suggests if they act like animals, the aliens won't recognize them and leave them be. So they're just naked, covering themselves in mud and baying and snorting livestock for hours on end. Because it's Lisa's walking to school. What are you people doing? It's we're hiding from the aliens. That was a radio show, you guys.
Yeah.
So, which, I mean, that's based in some truth. People did lose their shit. I don't think they lost it to that extent, but
No, but people did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a well-known story, the War of the Worlds thing.
People hearing that on the radio and thinking, God, that would fucking scare the shit out of you.
Yeah.
You're some fucking hillbilly that has only heard a radio 3 or 4 times, and there's a magic box telling you that there's aliens attacking.
Yeah, you'd shit your pants.
So people are real now, kind of, I don't know, once bitten, twice shy over the whole thing. So now real aliens attack. Is it Kodos and
Kang and Kodos?
Kang and Kodos attack. And now they won't believe it, even though there's buildings being vaporized in front of them, which I like. And then that's kind of, Lisa finally convinces them that, that it's not just a radio show, that it's really happening. And then it just kind of like the city basically gets decimated, and it kind of gets real. They're like, they were. It's like, well, you said we'd be greeted as liberators, and then it's like, well, we had to do it. They were working on weapons of mass disintegration. It's real hot political takes because this is the perfect time. This is right around the time we were realizing, the Iraq War is just an endless nightmare for no purpose.
We shouldn't have done that. I'll be damned. Yeah, they Kang and Kodos throw a lot of good Iraq War jokes back and forth.
And then it's just like a cut of just the blown out shell of Springfield with just some somber music playing.
It's World on Fire.
Oh yeah, it's like 1930s, like kind of like fucking
Which I know from the Fallout games.
Oh, interesting.
Which is about a bombed out America.
Interesting, yeah. And that was a very good ending. Yeah. I mean, not funny, but good, you know?
That was very good.
For me, this is two good Treehouse episodes in a row now, after a few that I wasn't too into.
Yeah, this one I really liked. I liked all three of these.
Yep.
You know, the Blob one, the Alien one, and the Golem one. So it's not often that I get all three. Mm-hmm. Usually there's one dud in there for me.
Yeah.
There's a joke earlier on when Orson Welles is doing the radio play and he's describing super complicated shit, and then the Foley sound effects guys have to do it. And like now a man is riding a horse in the rain, and it cuts to a guy making horse clop clop sounds with coconuts while watering a plant into this microphone, and then he says something like, and now someone's
bowling in like a thunderstorm
while playing a xylophone in a thunderstorm. And it pans over to the Foley guy who just holds up a sign that says "screw you" and walks out. That's so good. I love the idea of a Foley guy just being like, nah, I'm not doing that.
What an interesting way to make a living.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you ever go fall down a rabbit hole of watching Foley guy
I haven't,
work? Like, there's a lot of cool shit where it's like, here's how I make fucking this sound. Like, I found a flashlight that has a head and it squeaks just right it sounds like a doorknob. And it's like, so at some point you're like, all of their studios just look like fucking pawn shops. They're all just full of garbage, you know? And I carpeted this piece of plywood, and if I throw fucking bowling balls on it, it sounds just like a dead body.
And I bet it's an interesting thing if you're good at it. Like, you're just given like a company credit card. Like, okay, you buy what you need to buy.
You go junking.
We leave it in your hands. Like,
go buy a fucking storage unit at this auction sale and make noises. Episode number 5 is G.I. Doe. I know it's G.I. annoyed grunt, but it's G.I. Doe. We get it. Bart and Milhouse are at the mall teasing the bullies because the bullies work at Foot Locker. So they're really fucking making their lives hell because they know that they can't fucking lash out at them. So they're like, You got to relace those. Milhouse, I think, at one point is like, I wanted over-underees, not under-ovaries. And it's like, oh, God, these bullies are just hating it.
The bullies have to bow towards, like, the awkward teen.
Yeah, the annoying, the squeaky-voiced teenager is the boss. But then he quits, and the bullies strike back, of course. I believe they, like, tie them up in the display window in
almost
front.
like a spider web
of shoelaces. Yeah.
And they're in their underwear, too.
Yeah. And then we get some super fucking predatory army recruiters being like, look at them teens. We should go recruit them teens.
The first thing he says is, hey, teens, have you heard the new rap CD?
Yep.
And one of the bullies goes, are you hitting on us? Just such a good response to that.
Hey teens, have you heard the new rap CD? Is very much like Steve Buscemi's Hello Fellow Kids. So these fucking predatory army recruiters, of course, are laying it on thick. And at one point they said, due to exciting current events, we're recruiting for the U.S. Army. Exciting current events was a fun way to put that. They, of course, strike out with the bully teens. They're not into this. So being fucking dirtbags, they're like, well, I guess we got to go a little younger. Cut into a lyceum at the elementary school. Fucking the elementary school.
9 and 10-year-olds. And there's such a great scene when they first come out, like when they're about to show that movie. It's like, does anyone know where we can find some awesome kids? And Milhouse excitedly goes, Dearborn, Michigan? Just, fuck, I love that form of Milhouse.
Yeah, that's such a good joke. And they play this fucking rad propaganda film for the fucking army, and the kids eat it up. And they're like, you guys are too young, but we can get you pre-enlisted. And they fucking pre-enlist all these fucking kids. I like that there's that moment on stage where the one army recruiter is talking to Skinner like, hey, thanks for getting us in here, man. He's like, yeah, anything for my army. Well, you could re-enlist. And he's just like, screw you, Skinner.
Because I think he calls him Sergeant, like, hey, thanks for your help, Sergeant. Because you forget that, Skinner knows the horrors of war.
Yeah, I just like his flat tone of like, yeah, anything for my army. Well, you could re-enlist. Nope.
It's funny how this show has aged, that when Skinner was first becoming a fleshed out character, a Vietnam vet principal would be in his late 40s. Now he's like in his early 70s, you know, like.
Yeah, it's wild how time works.
Yeah.
Marge, of course, horrified that Bart is pre-enlisted in the army, and she sends Homer down to the recruiting office to get that contract torn up. Homer goes down there to get Bart freed and signs up for the army. Yeah. Because, of course, he does.
And Bart has a good comment, because when Marge is like, well, you're not joining the army. It's like, well, you let Lisa join PETA. It's like, I think she just answers the phones. And it cuts to Krusty on the red carpet in a fur coat and Lisa throwing paint at him.
Yeah.
Like,
for his murder.
Yeah. Do you think in Fargo here, could you go buy a fur coat off the rack? Where do you buy a fur coat at?
I bet you could. Fargo has enough rich people in it at this point. I bet you could go buy a fur coat.
I've never been somewhere where there was a rack of fur coats before.
I think we need to take you shopping.
Yeah. Oh,
Let's get you a fur coat, Nathan.
Jesus, just an ostentatious, giant, ankle-length fur coat, like a big, thicker, furrier collar.
In my mind, it's white.
I want countless minks to have to die.
Think of how well it'll go with your vest, shirt, and new Winston name. Ooh. I think Winston is a fur coat owner, Nathan.
That's right.
I think Winston has a furrier or whatever those people are called.
Yeah.
Furrier,
like my fur man?
Maybe. Yeah.
Got a fur guy?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, what's the coyote crop looking like this year in the Ukraine? Like, these coyotes never look better.
A coyote coat.
Yeah. These coyotes have never been healthier.
Maybe that's the way to go. We get you into furs, but real low rent furs. Yeah. Like, is that
muskrat and coyote?
Deer? Yeah. It's just basic deer.
Yeah. Looks more like I'm cosplaying like something out of like Game of Thrones. Like, are you Fat Conan? No, I'm a.
Who's that guy in that fucking cheapskate Hugh Glass costume?
Yeah. Jesus Christ. I think Hugh Glass has diabetes.
Did Hugh Glass eat that bear?
I'm dignified. This is supposed to symbolize.
We're all just happy Leo got the statue. Yeah. So Homer goes down there, enlists for the army. At one point, when they're trying to convince him to enlist in the army, he's like, but wait, doesn't that mean I would have to be away from my family for 2 years? And without missing a beat, that one guy goes, nah, big target like you'll be home way sooner.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah. That's fucking funny. That's a good joke. So Homer's shipping off to basic training. We get a couple other familiar faces in there, too. Cletus, Wolfcastle, Frank, and Gil are all there.
So great.
Among the new recruits. Homer is one of the dumbest people in the class. So everyone else gets to be, like, gets to in big fucking quotations.
Like frontline
infantry. Yeah. These decisions being made by the colonel, voiced by motherfucking Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, that no kidding.
Oh, yeah. Doing that
really?
Kiefer Sutherland voice.
Yeah, now that you say that, yeah.
Played Snake in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh.
So Homer's among the dumbest. He's among the idiots in class. So what they get assigned to do is they're going to be the enemy team in the war games that they're going to play. So we get the Simpson and his idiots out there, and the real army guys chase him into Springfield. They hide in Moe's basement, but Moe sells them out pretty immediately for a big pile of money. Yeah. The entire unit is captured in Moe's basement, except for Homer, who goes home. Just goes, awesome, goes back to...
Didn't keep one guard in front of the house, huh?
No, just went home. And then we get what I thought was a fun sequence, if a little long. A
drone?
Sequence of that helicopter drone chasing him through the house, and it's all Looney Tunes. Like, it's all extremely Looney Tunes.
When especially for me, when he dressed up like a lady drone.
Dressed up like a lady helicopter.
So good. Yeah.
Locks it, eventually locks it in a closet, and you see it has like just eyes in the darkness, even though it's a drone, it's blinking. And then it lights a match and is surrounded by TNT and big round cartoon bombs and explodes. And then it cuts to the Colonel watching this on a security camera, and it does the "That's all, folks" with the circle Merry Melodies logo. So fucking funny. The army, in order to track Homer down, are rounding up all the fat and bald people. Homer, in the meantime, hiding out at the old folks' home, but he doesn't know how long he can handle this because it's driving him fucking crazy. Marge, in the meantime, her plan to get Homer off the hook here is a phone tree.
Yeah.
I guess I get the idea, but it's just like... That seems like an antiquated thing that I don't quite get.
When I think of like moms at church.
A prayer warriors thing.
Yep. And then also just like who's bringing what to the potluck.
Okay.
Can't have too many of the same hot dish. That would just be criminal.
That'd be embarrassing. If
we can't all bring special K bars. We have to.
Well, I mean, I would be fine with that potluck.
Good special K bar goes a long way in my eyes.
I love me a special K bar.
My mom can make a good special K bar.
I think everyone's mom makes a good special K bar.
I think everyone thinks their mom can make a good. And I am not you. Shit. I think we've done enough of these podcasts. I'm not one to toot my mom's horn. Gross about her cooking. My mom's an okay cook on most things. She got special K bars figured out.
Yeah,
I've ate some horseshit special K bars.
I don't know that I've ever had a bad one, but I've definitely had some that are not up to others.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you like a firmer one that holds together a little better, or do you want a fucking gooey, get your hands sticky, maybe falling apart a little special K bar?
I think there's a perfect medium.
I think so.
Gas stations are too firm. I don't think you should be able to eat it with one hand easily. You should never have to cup it underneath.
Yep, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
I think there is a happy medium.
Yeah.
If you put a gun to my head, I want a gooey one
of
over
the two.
A hard one.
Yep.
Gross.
Yeah. This is going to be some very troublesome isolated audio takes in the last 10 minutes.
Set those as all your text tones.
Toot your mom's horn.
Yeah, and give me a gooey one over a hard one.
But I'll take a hard one.
I'll like it hard. I'd rather it be gooey and soft, but
Daddy will work with either.
Between what I just did and the DMX earlier, I think I'm gonna blow out my fucking voice. So Marge has this phone tree plan. It's essentially just a way to call everybody in town. And their idea is they all meet at the reservoir and bring your booze. And they all dump their booze in the reservoir so that the army will drink the water and get shithoused.
There's a lot of real stupid plot lines in this episode.
Yeah.
It's a dumb fucking episode.
This is a dumb episode.
I could see Simpsons fans really fucking pissy about this one. Like, but for me, there was more bigger laughs, which I mean, there's like 2 or 3, but we're at a point now where you can go a whole episode without one laugh. There's a few of them in this one.
I'm into this episode. Yeah. I like this episode. So the Colonel wakes up from being hammered, and he's super hungover and shit, and agrees to surrender to Homer and the team. But Homer still signed a contract. He's got to fucking serve his term.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So what are we gonna do? We have him. Homer is the new recruiter then, so he's in the mall trying to get people to sign up for the army. And there's a great ending bit over the end credits. It's the Colonel. as the names pop up,
Yeah.
he's going, he must have done fucking 80 reads of that one line. He's going, frontline infantry, as the names are popping up. And when they get to special guest Kiefer Sutherland, he goes, Coast Guard. That's so fucking funny. Oh, God, I got a good laugh at that. And then there's a couple like mumbly ones of like, Jesus, where'd you find some of these people?
It's right when he's about to get sent off for basic, where he's like, they're picking him up in a Humvee, and like the family's all sad, and like Marge is like pleading with him, like, why are you doing this? And he's like, kind of gets indignant. It's like, well, somebody has to help keep oil under $100 a barrel. Are you gonna? Is she? Is like, there's no way she can do it. Don't make me laugh. He's pointing at Maggie.
Yeah.
And then Maggie starts crying.
Maggie's insulted.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. You can definitely keep oil under $100 a barrel. You sure can. Yes, you can. He like leans over to Marge. No, she can't. So that whole madcap scene made me laugh. Like,
I loved that Maggie is like super butthurt about that. Yeah, I thought that was a fun episode. Like, it is very stupid, but I like that Looney Tunes thing. I like Kiefer Sutherland's grizzled colonel.
Yep.
Like the ending bit over the credits. Just a handful of like jokes at America's expense you get. I like how fucking predatory and creepy those recruiters are. Like there's a couple good dunks on America that I can get behind in that episode. So all in all, I like that one.
And I enjoyed episode 6, Mona Lisa. Episode starts with the family going to the Senior Olympics to root for Grandpa, which unsurprisingly bored to tears.
Yeah.
Like you can tell it's hours into the event, and Grandpa still hasn't performed yet, and he's in the hurdles.
Yeah.
Which is the idea of doing hurdles at any age is just insane.
I don't know how people do it.
Like, to run fast is hard. To jump and time that jump right is insane to me.
Do you think there's a lot of crossover between people who were good at hurdles in high school and then do parkour in their 20s? Do you think they come from the same crowd? Are those translatable skills?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
You ever watch bonkers parkour videos?
That's wild, man.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I think there's also a little bit of... It's probably a real, like, physically fit skateboard kids, too, because it's a lot of that. You're milling around cement. There's a lot of, like, you hanging out in stairwells and parking garages, you know? Like, you're hanging around a lot of civic projects, like courthouse entryways.
A lot of staircases with a rail.
A lot of railings. Yeah.
Somewhere in a real Rick and Morty situation, there's versions of us who are both great fucking skateboarders. Except I grew up 30 minutes from the closest piece of concrete.
From pavement.
So that's...
Have to get off-road tires on your skateboard.
Holy shit, why isn't that a thing? Dirtboarding. I just invented the next cool thing that all the teens are going to be into, Nathan. You watch.
Hey, everyone, put down your Tide Pods and vape pens. We got to go dirtboard.
You're so old. The Tide Pod thing was like 4 years ago and wasn't real.
It's the classics. They never change. Put down your Jewel and your Tide Pods.
I don't think kids are doing either of those.
Uncle Marlon's got a dirt board he wants us to try out.
Just big, soft rubber tires.
It's hard to really...
size of a fucking lawnmower tire.
It's exhausting. We just got to keep pushing. Yeah, you'll get the hang of it. I don't think we will.
It's meant for off-road.
If you kids were vaping so much, you'd have some fucking lung capacity. My Tide Pod's going to burst.
Sticking one in their lip like a chaw.
What were they doing again? I mean, they weren't.
Like,
but
that's the thing. Nothing. That wasn't real.
Oh, were they eating them?
Eating them was the.
I think I'm thinking of a bit I had where it's like no, teenagers aren't eating Tide Pods. They're keystering them. That's where the real challenge comes in. How long can you keep it up there?
I think that'd be way easier than eating one.
Can you do that thing fucking pops, bro. That is party time. Or your lower GI's never been cleaner.
Clean as fuck. Yeah.
Oh boy, I don't think you want that bubble and brew down there for too long, though. You better spray and pray pretty quick.
Listen, man, there's not a good way either way.
Yeah, you're right. There's a reason it says do not consume.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm being meant to choose a camp,
Yeah.
and I don't want either one.
I'm team, if we're doing Tide Pod Challenge, I'm team booty hole all day, every day.
Oh, yeah, man. Fucking bird dog, that bad boy.
So yeah, let us know how your Tide Pod challenges have went over the years. If you have any horror stories, let us know. We'll relive them on the air.
Yeah, let us know about thumbing laundry detergent up your ass.
Did you do it for fun, or was there like a practical reason? Like
It's
you're
always for fun.
sneaking
Love of the
it-
game, baby.
sneaking into like an Eastern European prison or something. We'd love to hear.
Christ.
So the family again bored to tears. I did like Mole Man with the robot legs.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. And then again, Grandpa was in the hurdles. He is eating shit until it's groundskeeper Willie is wearing a rain poncho and he resembles the Grim Reaper.
Because he's also cutting the grass with a scythe.
Yeah, which makes no sense.
Yeah, not a bit.
But it's enough to get Grandpa motivated enough where he wins a gold medal. So I do like when Grandpa's on the first place pedestal and they're doing the American anthem. He's like, turn off that hippie stuff.
Yeah,
like,
that was funny.
Yeah, Grandpa being Grandpa. And so that was really... I am sorry. I was like, what was the plot point? But what we're missing is it starts with Homer had left don't forget messages everywhere. And then it's like, we're going to go see Grandpa today at the Senior Olympics. Like, that's what it was. It turns out it's Moe's birthday. And Homer had promised him a fishing trip.
Yeah.
And that
Promised
phone
to
message, very sad.
Oh, man. Yeah, Mo calling and leaving that message.
All of his fishing gear. And then they come home and they see Mo on the front porch and it hits Homer. Like, oh my God, everybody duck. Even so there's like how Mo buys. Oh, here he comes. Here's Homer. No, wait, that's just his car. You know, like, so like he buys that, but he doesn't leave. So he's just still peeking in the windows and they have to live like crabs. Like Homer, you have to talk to him. We can't keep scuttling like this.
To hell we can't.
Yeah, and they try. I like that too. Like Homer and Bart fighting over that bag of chips like crabs.
Some good animation there of those two as crabs fighting over the bag of popcorn. That was fun.
And then finally, he is wise to what's happening. He throws a brick through the window with a note tied to it.
Oh,
That note's sad.
that note is a heartbreaker.
Yep.
About how I thought we were friends and I let myself get my hopes up and you're just fucking garbage like me and everybody else. Like, oh my God.
So yeah, real rough stuff. And then also another thing that's going on during this time when they're at the Olympics, Lisa mentions that she's supposed to write an article about an interesting resident of Springfield, and she's just striking out with everybody. And
Yeah.
it's like, Lenny's like, well, you should talk to me. I've been collecting Absolute ads. Like, well, how many do you have? It's like, there's more than one?
Yeah.
But like, how heartbreakingly depressing is it if a grown man's hobby is cutting ads out of magazines?
Is that can't be a real thing that people collect,
I
right?
mean,
like
everyone-
even if it's not absolute, like
Yeah.
is there
Oh, I
someone
think-
out there who's just like,
yes.
I just love Nike ads?
Well, I mean, I think when you're like a 13-year-old, you cut shit like that, put it on your wall.
Well, sure,
But
like-
when you're 50, is what I like.
In my head, though, Lenny is trying to curate a collection of
which I
absolute
like,
ads.
yeah.
He's trying to catch them all.
And that got me thinking. I forgot. Absolute did advertise all the time back in the day,
especially in magazines.
Yep.
Absolute, and then right on its heels, Svedka,
Yeah.
the vodka of the future.
Yeah.
Those ads were everywhere.
On how Absolute and Svedka are doing nowadays.
I think Absolute's doing just fine because I think they leaned pretty hard into the flavored.
Oh, did they
shit.
really?
So
Oh, interesting.
I think
You're right. You're totally right.
you know,
Yep. Now that I think about it.
I think there's 80 different varieties of Absolute.
Yeah. So which was smart on their part. And so during this time, Lisa kind of figures out, oh no, how do they end up at Moe's house? His house. He lives in a fucking rent by the hour hotel.
Well, Lisa just tells him that night that she wants to do the report on him,
But
and
how
then it
does
just
she-
cuts to them going to his house the next day.
But how do they end up, or how does he end up talking to them after throwing that note through the window?
He's walking away from the house, and Lisa runs out and is like, Mo, wait.
Yeah. And did she read the note?
Yeah.
And that's what convinced her?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they go to his place and she sees like the little notes
The
he
Post-its.
has. Yeah. Of his sad thoughts.
Shattered thoughts.
Yeah. And she's like, wait a second. If we piece these together, I'm like, this is really something. The best is she brings him to like the class presentation. So he's up there telling these depressing poems to 8-year-olds, and not a surprise to no one. They don't get into it.
Yeah,
because Lisa's like Philistines.
Yeah, that was fun. I used to think that was the way to keep my comedy notes in order, was Post-its on a wall.
Oh.
And you want to look like a fucking crazy person.
Yeah, I have a fucking bedroom wall covered in Post-it notes talking about your holes and disease and yeah.
Try bringing someone home and flipping on your bedroom light, and it's just a wall full of broken half thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, woof.
Oh my God! Hopefully they can kind of read them from the distance. Like
This
what
one's
does that say?
and like I don't write complete thoughts. Even today when I write jokes, I don't write complete thoughts. So it's just like, does that say bread is pornography for ducks?
Mouth kissing gram? What? That's what you do? That's like, is this like your to-do list? No, baby, no. It's just goofs.
Oh God.
But Lisa, undeterred, makes a copy of one of the poems and sends it to some poetry journal. That's where we get the J. Jonah Jameson by J.K. Simmons, which I like to. It's like, put him on the cover and pay him nothing, which I'm sure all poetry literary magazines follow that same business model. Like,
yeah, you're fired. What do you mean you don't work here? You're hired. Now you're fired.
So that was a good gag.
I also like A, that it's him playing that character, and B, that it's drawn like J. Jonah Jameson from the 60s cartoon.
Yeah.
You know, like is there one writer or one animator in The Simpsons who's a huge Spider-Man fan?
Yeah, they go hard in it
They
too.
covered a lot of bases there.
And so it makes the cover, and it becomes kind of the smash hit. So they get it in. Is it Wordloaf? Is the literary like, I'm sure what would be a festival? Festival's probably not the
Poetry
right term.
fest, I guess.
Yeah.
I also have one note here, just to butt in. Because we're at the bar when we're having this talk. Apparently, Barney completely off the wagon at this point.
Yep.
Have we just lost sober Barney?
Yeah, it's too. There should have at least been an episode addressing it.
I feel like there was a couple of like, you know, like that one where he saves that lady in the helicopter and he's like, well, I can have one, you know, like they flirt and we see him drunk and then sober and then drunk and then sober. I feel like we could have just done one episode.
Yep, totally.
Like, it's so crazy. Same with, we talked about when it happened, that they just throw away Comic Book Guy's real name. You could have done an episode on that.
Yep, you're right.
It's
totally.
so bonkers, the stuff that they decide to just throw away.
Yep, yeah. Like, that was way too important of a thing to just throw out flippantly, you know?
Like we had episodes dedicated to him getting sober. Why don't you have an episode dedicated to him falling off?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that was strange.
So the Simpsons and Moe go to this kind of a swanky literary conference in Vermont.
Yeah, Vermont.
So they go to Vermont. Simpsons do Vermont.
I've never been to Vermont. I don't know anything about Vermont, but this is exactly what I think Vermont is like.
Yeah, very.
All just autumnal colors and stuffy white folks.
Yeah, lots of apple cider.
Old money.
Yeah. And hippies, a lot of hippies made it to Vermont. And
sure.
A tiny population. Oftentimes, one of the few states that has a less population than North Dakota.
Oh.
Remember that as a kid when you look at the list. Like, hey, we're ahead of Vermont and Wyoming. Hey, and Alaska, I think, too. Hey, we're number 46. And I think Vermont is, with North Dakota, one of the few states that has more cows than people. So I always think it's a fun thing to bring up.
Yeah, if you're looking to brag.
More cattle than human.
Yeah.
That's a missing White Zombie song we didn't know we needed.
God damn it. More bovine than human.
So I guess we know what our intro for next episode, music-wise, is going to be.
Now we need more rap.
And you know, I am on record. I do not like the celebrity voiceovers a lot. I do like it when it's voiceovers of people that are hardly celebrities like this.
Yeah.
Where we get like Michael Chabon and Jonathan Franzen and like Thomas Wolfe.
I don't know who any of these people are.
Michael Chabon, I'm trying to think what he would be best known for. He wrote a book, Wonder Boys, which was made into a movie.
Nope.
I'm trying to think if he did.
Don't know that one.
Cavalier and Clay. I forget you were never a snooty graduate student like I was.
No, never was. Are you okay?
You're suspiciously not wearing
Are
glasses.
you having a stroke?
And you do not have patches on any of your suit coat elbows. It's worried me for quite some time.
I don't own a single thing that's made of corduroy.
Oh, fuck.
Not a single thing.
And I'd have a pretty woman shopping montage of me draping you in corduroy.
Well, that's probably a lie. Somewhere back home in a storage box is my FFA jacket.
Yeah, right.
But that's as close as I
man,
can
rocking
get.
purple corduroy. That's a bold choice, brother.
I should just wear that out
Yeah,
to the
right?
bar some night. There's no way that fits. That is, I am 40 sizes bigger than that.
Let them seams all play. I remember the Kentucky Headhunters, the country music group. I think they won like best group or best new artist at like the CMA or AMA, whatever, country music awards. And they accepted their awards and they were all wearing their FFA jackets, which is such an awesome move.
That's a baller move.
So yeah, we get a lot of little literary gags, which, boy, that's how you get a mass audience for your show. But
Literary gags is the worst porno I've ever seen.
Jesus, yeah. Took me a second. We get Gore Vidal. We get because he mentions that's how where the turning point in the episode is. They ask Mo for how he got the title.
Which is howling at a concrete moon, which is like the most pretentious shit.
Yeah. And of course, they all eat it up.
Yeah.
Because I think it's Gore Vidal mentions, I had help like 1876. That's what my so-and-so came to. And
that's what I paid for gas once. Yeah.
And they all deride him for not creating him on his own. He's like, I don't even need you. I don't need any of you. I have all of your joyous applause on tape.
Yeah.
He's just listening to their claps on a little Walkman thing.
And he's like, thank you, fucking graduating class of 1992 or something. Temple
University awaits,
God damn it, that's funny.
And so now Mo sees that, they do not take kindly to people that have help. So he doesn't even really attempt to do it otherwise. He just throws Lisa straight under the bus.
I did it all on my own.
Yeah, all me. So they're all excited. They're like, who's ready for the hayride? They all pile out and go on a hayride.
While they're bumping music, they're fucking listening to Let's Get It Started by the Black Eyed Peas, which is such a fucking dated reference.
Well, at that time, it probably wasn't.
Not at that time. Yeah. No, at that time, I'm sure that song was hot, but I bet I haven't heard it since 2007. Right. So as soon as it started, I was like, I would say also that song, the album cut of that song that's called something else that we're not going to say is so problematic. Wait, that was a hit in 2007.
And I would say I Got a Feeling is the monster hit of Black Eyed Peas that probably had more legs.
That's probably the bigger song.
Yeah.
Boy, talk about a band that was fucking on top of the world and then forgot all about.
I'm pretty sure that they released an album or two in the late 90s. That means hip hop heads loved and critics loved, but it didn't have Fergie yet. So they didn't have any pop any chance of having top 40 hits. And then they got that lady singing and she was just the perfect mix to make them a fucking superstar group, they were the equivalent of Dead Prez or some other hip hop nerds love them and critics love them, but they don't really have hits. And then decided we got to change that. I want to own a lake house. I want to keep living with you two dorks.
I was and still am into the next class of pop that came right after them, the Keshas and the Pitbulls and the Flow Ridas, like the next class of dance pop that came after the Black Eyed Peas that you could argue the Black Eyed Peas kind of opened the door for.
Oh, really?
But
Yeah.
that's the shit I'm into.
Yeah.
Like
See,
fucking Flo Rida has some hot bangers.
we're just getting to the point I became detached from popular culture.
Oh man, I'm gonna make you a Spotify playlist of some real hot shit. We're gonna have you fucking
What would be the most popular Flo Rida song that I might know?
probably Good Feelin' or Whistle. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's
Who did Apple Bottom Jeans?
that's Flo Rida.
Okay, I know that song.
So you know that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I mostly know it from Tropic Thunder.
Okay, sure. I'm trying to think of what the fuck that song is named. It's not called Apple Bottom
really?
Jeans.
Well, they missed a golden
Boots
opportunity.
with the fur.
Yeah.
The whole club was looking at her.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking Get
Low.
Low.
Get Low. Yeah,
Low,
yeah. That's a fun song.
What a horrible couple of minutes for our listeners.
Just
Two fucking aging, chubby men trying to think of a song.
yeah. They're punching their desks like these fucking dolts.
Fucking low.
Yeah.
It's goddamn low.
How old are they? How sad are they? That song was on the radio nonstop for 14 months.
I'm going to put so much Kesha on that playlist. You're going to love it. You're going to be bopping.
I enjoy bopping to I need to bop at a pretty, I don't know, medium pace. I don't got the cardio for heavy
You're going to be
bopping.
fucking swinging that dump truck of yours
Yeah,
while you're
just-
doing the floss move with the bath
There
towel
we go.
fresh
Oof.
out of the shower.
Yeah, just getting it clapping.
Yeah.
Probably put this donk to use.
Swing that trailer around.
Probably more like the inner thigh fat slapping if
That's
it's out
what
of the
claps, not
shower.
the
That's the
cheeks.
clapping, yeah. There's like multiple claps. It's like it sounds like a quartet is clapping. My love handle's flipping all the way forward and hitting.
Your neighbors, is there applause happening next door?
Did someone retire from a long-standing civil service job?
Did somebody sink a really long putt? What is happening right now?
They're really giving someone credit over there.
Good for them. You're just blaring TikTok by Kesha, swinging your shit around. Oh, fuck.
So the rest of the Simpsons gangs are out enjoying the sights of Vermont. Melissa's at home back at their cabin being sad. And meanwhile, it's finally getting to a point where Mo has to kind of prove it. It's like, oh, you're going to have to read a new poem today. We're excited to see what you're working on.
Yeah.
And then it dawns on him. And he fucking tries to just fucking convince Lisa to do it. Well, just a piss poor attempt.
Fucking dirtbag.
Yeah, such a shitty human being.
After he stuffed her down again at the panel, the QA panel they do.
I forgot that she tried to give him another chance to kind of give her some credit,
Yeah.
but he doesn't. Yeah.
God, he's such a dirtbag.
Yeah. I did like the two words. Like Thomas Wolfe was like, and I have an announcement. If I would like your leftover garlic mashed potatoes, so counterclockwise, everyone passed their excess potatoes. Like, such a ridiculous thing. Like, and then like the whole Jonathan Franz and Michael Chabon like rivalry is so good.
Yeah.
Franz owned.
Yeah, for someone who didn't get a lot of the references, I still enjoyed the jokes. Like I still get the joke.
Only thing I know about
idiot.
Jonathan Franz, I do remember seeing the book The Corrections was everywhere around this time.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it was one of those books that was like, critics and literary nerds loved it, but I think it also sold halfway decent too.
Okay.
Yeah. So Lisa, again, Mo tries to get Lisa to help. She's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like, so he attempts to do it himself. What is the two different poems he reads? One is just the elevator weight restriction placard.
Yeah.
And one I think is just the channel guide.
Yeah,
Channel
from his hotel
63,
room.
Family
Yeah.
fun. Like,
And it's even like triangle shaped like they do, so they set it on top of the dresser. Like, God, that was funny.
so good, yeah. So then finally, everyone knows, the emperor has no clothes, and at least then finally it's like, I can't take, if it wasn't for Lisa, none of this would be happening right now. So at least Lisa does get a little something. It's far too late.
Apologizes to her up on stage.
Yeah, I think they decided to go play like little pin. What do they call that? Pin bowling.
Yeah, duck
pin bowling.
pin bowling.
Yeah, which I didn't know that was a Vermont thing. I think that's a Canada thing.
Oh, okay.
Canada does a different form of bowling like that too, where the ball is almost the size of like a slightly bigger softball.
Huh.
And the pins are way smaller.
Weird.
Yeah. And I think that's when Jonathan Franzen and Michael Chabon finally come to fisticuffs.
Yeah, they throw down.
Old-fashioned literary, man. Like it's funny. Every college brings in the occasional writers. They have writer, like a monthly writer come in to talk. Like, depending on the school, the bigger the writer. But one time, I think it was NDSU got Joyce Carol Oates, who's a very big name. She's probably written something you would know at least. She came, and they paid out the ass to get her, and of course, all the English kids are just creaming their jeans. And I can't remember word for word how it was, but they brought her out there on stage. It's just a packed auditorium. I think it was at NDSU, but it was such a big deal. The other colleges in town we got to all bring our students, to see someone of this magnitude. And she kind of looked the crowd over and said something like, "When I flew over North Dakota and I saw the vast empty fields, I was immediately thought of how many vast empty minds I will see in this audience today." And she just looked at everyone just like, and then proceeded to keep talking. And people applauded. Because one of my professors is like, someone should grab the front legs of her chair and flip her the fuck out of it.
Yeah, no shit.
Now.
Fuck you, lady.
Yeah, just going to rip us. And everyone still politely claps.
It's North Dakota.
Yeah, like unbelievable. Like
someone could shit in your shoe.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't cause a fuss.
Because my professor was like, it took everything in me to not make my students leave. I wanted just out of spite, get the fuck out of here. Screw this lady.
Fuck this lady.
Yeah, but it's like they're happy, so whatever. But I'm gonna leave out of protest.
Or at the very least, heckle. Be like, hey, fuck you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. And then that's it. Kind of Lisa and Mo have mended whatever relationship they had, and that pretty much puts a bow on it, right? Or am I missing something?
Yeah, for the most part. There's a couple more jokes. Like we get one more run in with J. Jonah Jameson. Yeah. And then we get Homer doing that weird sommelier thing with the maple syrup over the credits.
Yeah.
Which
didn't do a whole lot for me.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Make one more Vermont joke on the way out, I guess. There's a couple great jokes in this episode that I really laughed at. Like earlier when Lisa first approaches Mo and they're on the way to his apartment, and he goes, "Why you want to do your report about me? I'm not a great man like Bob Seger or Haystack Calhoun."
Yeah, very good.
I love that the first two great men Mo can think of are Bob Seger and Haystack Calhoun.
Is such a very specific reference.
Extremely specific. And I love that I like that Mo admires Haystacks Calhoun.
I was sure that Haystacks Calhoun, for a morbidly overweight wrestler, was very nimble and athletic.
He could move.
And he took offense to ever being treated as like a freak show act. He said, "No, I can wrestle."
Agile for a big man.
Yep.
And he was big. He was 500-600 pounds big. He was a big dude.
Yeah. Always wore bib overalls, I think. Yeah. What a life.
There's also that joke in Mo's apartment when Homer sits in that recliner. He's like, "Oh, you got one of these fancy vibrating recliners." And Mo goes, "Nah, that's not a vibrating recliner. It's just full of roaches."
God.
And he cuts it open and all those roaches go spilling out.
Sick.
That's disgusting. I laughed so hard at some of the little bits of seeing the inside of Mo's life.
I know we've seen Mo's home before. I think he just had a shitty apartment in the past.
Yeah, I think we've gotten glimpses.
I think it's the one where Mo trains Homer to box from way back when.
That is an old
I think
one.
we get a glimpse of his living, and it's very Spartan.
Yeah. And there's one other joke here when Mo is by the lake and he's putting the pieces of his poem together, trying to do it himself, and the wind blows them all into the lake, and he jumps in and starts fighting those geese.
Yeah.
And at one point when he's losing, he goes, "Well, if you're gonna fight, you better win." Pulls out a gun and starts shooting at these fucking geese. I love that he's strapped at word loaf.
Here I am standing in mud, waist deep in water, fighting geese. In a tux too, I think, or at least in a suit.
Yeah. Episode number 7 now, Ice Cream of Margie with the light blue hair, which is a stretch.
What's the reference there?
I Dream of Jeannie, Ice Cream of Margie.
But what's with the light blue hair?
I think that's the next lyric in that theme song.
Oh, is it really?
With the bright blonde hair or with the light yellow hair.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
think. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. But I've never been wrong about anything before, so it's probably not going to happen today.
Never.
My very first note, holy shit, Homer at work.
Yeah, right? Isn't that weird?
We never see that anymore.
What are they playing? Some kind of office chair hockey?
Rolling chair hockey, yep.
He gets put in the penalty box, but it's like a tickle penalty
Yep.
box. It's the last time you were vigorously tickled.
Fuck, I have no idea. Probably junior high,
Yeah.
if I were to guess. I was very susceptible to. I was the like. I'm laughing so hard I can't breathe and I'm gonna shit my pants. Like I didn't take to tickling well.
He's ticklish.
You ever watch that documentary Tickled? About the shady world of competitive tickling?
What the fuck?
That's all I'm gonna watch it.
Okay.
Everyone out there should watch Tickled because it is the wildest shit.
I will. It's intriguing.
It is, and like you go in expecting something based on what I've told you, and it's something totally different.
Okay, interesting.
It's quite a thing.
Well, now I'm very lazy, but if I get around to it, I will let you know my findings.
I don't suspect you'll get around to it.
Yeah, I think last week I had one assignment. It was to listen to one song. It was an assignment I gave myself. I can't remember what song it was.
That's how friends recommending things to each other goes. Hey, you should watch this. Oh, I will. Never do.
Or what I do, and it's a hit. I'm like, fuck, I got to listen to everything this guy tells me to watch. And then I forget, you know.
I still haven't listened to the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds. So,
yeah.
What was that, 20 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So Homer is fired because he's fucking shitty at work and chases down the ice cream man, who I still maintain aren't real. Never seen one in the wild. And the truck driver of the ice cream truck dies while he's counting out Homer's change because Homer makes him break 100 for a 25-cent ice cream bar.
Yeah. And why is something priced for 25 cents? Like,
right? I thought
this
the same
guy's
thing,
pricing
like, boy,
himself
ice
out of the
cream's fucking
market.
cheap. Yeah. So the truck driver dies. We're at the funeral. Some fun bits at the funeral, like them burying him, scooping the dirt with giant ice cream scoops. That was funny. Homer buys the ice cream truck because he doesn't have a job, but he has severance money and
flush with severance
and
pay.
the widow doesn't want the truck, so everybody wins.
All I have is my lover and this old ice cream truck.
And has it pimped out. Bart says the words, "Wow, Otto, you pimped Dad's ride."
Yeah. This might not be peak Pimp My Ride. This might be a few years after. This is still, we're in a Pimp My Ride world.
Yeah, people still say that.
Yeah.
Also, the first time I have seen spinner rims in probably 10, 15 years.
There was a time. They were all the rage.
You had to have them.
Get them 20-inch sprees.
Yeah, the Cadillacs on 22s, as David Banner said.
That's just getting garish. 22s? How low profile can those tires be?
I don't
think they're all season radials.
Rock 22s. Yeah. My fucking last car I had was a basic bitch Chrysler 200 that had 20s and low pros on it. So I think if I can have 20s, it doesn't take someone much above me to get 22s.
Yeah. I don't know if I mean, depending on the vehicle. I think when the rims get too big and the tires get too low profile, I'm not a fan of that look. But hey, you do you, Playboy. I'm just saying what my thoughts are. Like, I don't like a donk. I don't like I don't need a 1982 Cutlass that can do a backflip.
I'm into it. Yeah. Give me big rims and little tires. Yeah. I like it.
Isn't it some people in that kind of like world of like hydraulics and they get into the big tires, little rims too. That might be more of like a Mexican dude thing on the West Coast.
In the lowriders, you know, you get like those big fat white walls.
Yeah, with the little often
with
just
the
like
wire spoke rims.
Yep. Yeah, that's an interesting the opposite. You're going for a smaller than the factory rim.
Yeah,
you
get those old 64 Impalas and drop them down to the ground. Yeah. There was a time where I was super into lowriders. Not a whole lot of the culture, but the cars, yes.
Please tell me you have a Chevy Bel Air tramp stamp.
I have owned more than one Lowriders magazine in my life. Awesome, for fucking sure. Just staring at candy apple green El Caminos with the Virgin de Guadalupe painted on the hood. Fucking fat whiteys and spoke rims. Into it. So Otto pimped out the ice cream truck. We get a fucking sequence where Homer is like, I need to get dressed in an overly complicated way.
What is it from?
In a dark room with the clothes flying at him and him putting them on, and I don't have a fucking clue where that's from. It's clearly an exact reference to something.
Yeah.
But I'm shocked. It doesn't happen very often that we get one of these where neither of us have seen it.
Yep.
You know?
My note is, Marlon, what is this from?
And I've just looked it up, and that is apparently from the Ollie G Show.
Oh, really?
Which I've not seen, and I feel like is a pretty deep cut for The Simpsons.
Yeah. And a show that by this point had not have been on the air for years.
Also, is that another HBO series?
Yep, it is, yeah.
A lot of HBO series coverage on this episode of America's Barley Basket.
Yeah, the writing staff upgraded their cable package around this time.
Now they're just all making... I like that idea.
Yeah.
That they just didn't know... And then one of them got HBO.
Yeah, here's some 6 Feet Under references.
There's going to be some Arliss.
Yeah, Carnival reference.
Oh, Carnival is so good.
Deadwood. We'd have season 1 of Deadwood by now, I'd say.
I forget where it was. I was listening to a different podcast, and they mentioned Deadwood, and I thought to myself, fuck, I should watch that show.
You should.
I've never seen it.
Treat yourself. It's only 2 seasons, too. You can knock that out.
I love Ian McShane.
And he loves you.
Okay.
Watch this show. It's the least you can do for him.
And Timothy Oliphant.
All the people you want.
Yeah. I need to watch it. You want to just do a show where we talk about HBO shows? Because that's what this episode is.
Why not?
We were talking about Curb not that long ago.
Yep.
So Homer's the ice cream man now. Marge sees a show that's like an Oprah knockoff called Opal, which I think is funny. And they're talking about like women who didn't waste their lives just being a housewife. And I feel like we've done this before. Yeah. I think Marge has had her like crisis of existence of all I've done is been a housewife this whole time. I think we've done this exact thing before.
And what are they? Is it des to she? Is that what they call it? Like they
legacy.
Okay, there we go.
So Marge wants to be more than her current lot in life. And then we get a fucking rad scene of the kids sitting on the curb and it's hot outside and Nelson like doesn't even have it in him to punch Martin, but he eventually musters it up and does anyway. And I have written here in all caps, fuck yeah, Money for Nothing.
Yeah.
Money for Nothing is a great song. Yeah. And we forget about it.
Forget about Dire Straits.
That Dire Straits record is real good all the way through. Even the B cuts, even the deep cuts are good on that album.
I can picture the cover.
It's got the guitar, the steel guitar on the front. Yeah. As soon as I heard that opening lick, I was like, "This is perfect," because I bet Homer loves that song.
Yep, and it's like a mirage in the distance when the ice cream truck comes.
Yeah, there's a shimmer to it. Yeah, it's a great scene. Homer selling ice cream forces ice cream on this lactose intolerant kid.
Yeah, that's how kids shit their pants.
That's a crime, I'm pretty sure.
That's assaulting a child.
Marge still upset about her lot in life, but then is struck by a bolt of inspiration and starts making popsicle stick sculptures. 'Cause she has an abundance of popsicle sticks because Homer's eating all the ice cream.
Yeah.
So she builds a bunch of characters from the show, and I think it goes ahead a couple of weeks.
Yeah. She spells it out with popsicle sticks 2 weeks later.
Yeah, across the bottom of the screen. That was a fun bit. Brockman is up in the chopper because there's a police chase, but then he sees Marge's sculptures and is like, "Ooh, soft news! Take me down there."
Is that a photogenic housewife creating folk art?
Oh, it's so perfect. So they do a story on her, which the Texas oil man sees, and he wants to come put on an art show for her.
Yeah. And I like that right away. Homer is super supportive about all this.
Yeah. He is for a lot of this until he homers it up.
And it's not, and that wasn't even malicious. That was just laziness.
Yeah. That was just being an idiot. That was poor planning. So she's going to have her art show. It's today, and it starts at 3:00, and Homer promises to be back by then for her art show. Spoilers on how that goes.
Yeah.
He gets caught up selling ice cream at the park where they have a giant banner hanging that says Divorced Dad's Visitation Jamboree.
So great.
Which is the fucking funniest thing. Like, of course, ice cream is going to be the fucking hot seller there. You can mark up prices at that event. Homer loses track of time, stays too late. Now he's rushing to try to get home. He's stuck in traffic, and then he just takes the ice cream truck off-roading, goes barreling down that mountain by their house. And then I thought he was going to stick it. I thought he was going to stick the landing, and that's what we were going with. He power slides the ice cream truck, but of course crashes through all of her sculptures,
which are all
and
set up in the
destroys
yard.
them all. Yeah. And they get in a big fight, obviously. Marge slams the door in his face, and he says, and I have this quote written down, "Well, excuse me for having enormous flaws that I don't work on." I know some people in my life who, if they were being honest, that's what they would say. Yeah. Marge is locked in her room. She's super upset. Homer is like, I'll eat more ice cream to give you more sticks. And he says, again, I have written, if it'd win you back, I'd gradually eat all the parts of a motorcycle, but I hope it doesn't come to that, which is such a good line. That's where his brain went.
And is it during this point that he tries tell her to come down and make dinner? I think lasagna would be good.
Yeah.
Like that's how you win somebody over.
Why don't you come down and make dinner? Yeah. Lasagna would be good. Homer falls asleep by the door. He's genuinely really distraught, as he should be, because he fucked up real bad this time. And when he comes to, Marge is gone. He's driving around looking for her with the kids. Finds her on top of the courthouse. Thinks that she's gonna jump, but really she has built an enormous Homer statue. Like as tall as a building, Homer statue.
It's like him in his underwear eating a
donut,
majestically, looking off into the distance.
Yeah, he's very stoic. He's got one hand up on his hip.
And when she unveils it, he goes, "You made a sculpture of Magilla Gorilla," which is a good reference.
No, it's of you. And she gives a speech about how my actual legacy is
this
the
family.
life I've built with you. And it's very sweet. And then, rather than ending it there, which is what I'd have done, it cuts ahead to 200 years in the future where humanity has been enslaved by sentient iPods. And the museum tour guide is saying something along the lines of, this is the last piece of art ever found before the iPods took over, which is such a fucking old man joke to write. I'm sure, because this is 2006, I'm sure they all thought iPods were going to be the death of us because that's what them damn kids are listening to. Also, if humanity's enslaved, why is there a group of them on a tour at a museum? Right. Why do they have museums? I don't... Yeah. I think someone just wanted to animate an iPod whipping someone with the earbuds.
Yep.
And this is how we
good
got
call.
there.
This is make this happen. This
Yeah.
would be a good visual.
I think we just reverse engineered that.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
I didn't, I
I'd
didn't
say.
mind that one all around. A couple of real good jokes. Man, god damn it. I'd gradually eat all of the parts of a motorcycle, but I hope it doesn't come to that. I think is super fucking funny. And bonus points for Dire Straits.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, this was fine. So I think so far we're on a pretty good run. None of these are great, but there hasn't been a snooze fest yet.
Right. I think this is a good batch. I also really like that Army one.
Yeah.
So.
Season 17 had some snoozers. So far, season 18 starting out okay.
Let's see if we end strong.
Episode 8, the Ha-Ha'd Couple, which I don't get. I mean, Ha-Ha is Nelson, but what's the Ha-Ha'd Couple?
No idea. I think it's the Odd Couple.
Oh, good call. That's what it is.
It took me forever to figure out what ha-ha, because it's spelled H-A-W,
Yep.
and I would have never thought that Nelson's laugh is spelled like that. So all I was seeing was the word ha-ha, which all I knew was hee-haw, so I was stuck on hee-haw the whole time trying to figure this out.
Which not a bad place to be stuck.
As I always am. I am quite often
Always
thinking of
your
hee-haw.
brain's default mode is hee-haw.
Yeah. Oh, what
yeah.
a life.
It's the menu screen from a hee-haw DVD. Episode starts with what we think is Marge and Homer fighting in their room, but it turns out it's just a tape recording of them fighting so they can hump in peace.
Smart.
Which is, and I like how it eventually just turns to like a mixtape. I'm sure they record it over.
Yeah.
I think Lisa refers to it as county fair music. I think is it America or Bread? It's Horse with No Name.
Yeah, it's I don't know who sings that, and it doesn't switch over. Someone throws an article of clothing, and it hits the
That's
switch
what it
sides.
does. Oh, okay.
So that's what's funny to me is that this cassette is like a mixtape on one side and fighting so we can hump on the other. I like that exists on the same tape.
Yep. So the kids are now concerned, and they open the door and they see what kids shouldn't see, but it happens. It happens.
Never did.
And
I'm thankful for that.
And I did like the quick cut to Bart shaking as he's trying to eat milk duds. He has a Millhouse like help support him.
Millhouse, steady my duds.
That's a steady my duds.
You
That's
milk duds guy?
Yep. Oh yeah, I am.
I like a milk dud.
One of those things I don't have very often.
The movies. I associate milk duds with the movie theater.
I mean, you can take a crown out with a milk dud. You got to be careful.
Oh
with
yeah,
milk
you'll pull a
duds.
tooth. I don't have any crowns, but you can pull a tooth out with a milk dud.
Yeah.
I would prefer if you made me choose a dot, which I consider to be the fruit version of a milk dud.
So I'm a chocolate caramel guy before I'm a like a sugary fruity thing.
Yeah, give me that fruit. Give me that gum.
You like that gum? That's what you're known for. That's
I have
sweet.
that neck tattoo. Give me that gum. What is
There's a
that?
bunch of drippy syrup letters.
No one will ask about it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
You should get a candy necklace tattooed around your neck.
Oh fuck, that's brilliant. I should do that.
And you can have some that's just string where it's already been bitten off, and you can have some with some of the candy remaining.
Maybe you have my artist like do some staining
Yeah,
effects because
from
I've
the
been wearing
slobber
it all
and
day.
sweat. Yeah.
Candy necklaces are
So
such a fucking
sick.
joke.
So gross.
Oh,
So that's
God.
what I think of sweet candy. I think of novelty shit. Like, I want to eat a goddamn fucking Milky Way bar like a goddamn adult. You know, like
Such an old man candy choice.
that's now I think I would never choose a Milky Way
But you would if the other option was a
candy necklace. Yep.
So
Oh,
would I.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, gummies are where it's at.
So, and because now we're on the school, that's where we got the gag with Millhouse steadying Bart. Nelson's being Nelson, just being an absolute prick.
Yep.
And then it comes to everyone has to go to his birthday party. He's threatened them all. Everyone's getting an invitation. And then Nelson's gone. Like Millhouse, like, I hate that guy. I don't want to go to his birthday party. And someone suggests, well, if there's power in numbers, if we all don't go, he can't beat all of us up.
They unionize.
Yeah, which is very smart. Very smart.
Yeah.
And then they get back home, and Bart is like laughing about how such a good idea it is. And Marge over here is like, well, you listen, mister, you're going to go to that boy's birthday party because he needs a friend. If none of you are going to be there, at least you're going to be there.
Yeah, Marge makes him go.
And Lisa's really reveling in this. She knows that, like, how big of a shitbag Nelson is. So she's really enjoying this. And I like how we've seen this before. They go to a birthday party for another kid. They're wearing suits.
Yep.
I don't know what are these suits for. Like, kind of little kids wear suits at a birthday
Bart
party.
has the suit with short pants, which is always such a ridiculous look, and has his hair combed and parted.
Yeah.
Like it's his church outfit.
Little kid birthday parties are pure pandemonium.
Yeah.
Like, your kid should be wearing scraps of fabric. Like,
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure every birthday celebration I went to was fucking Levi's husky jeans and bad boy equipment t-shirt.
yeah. Did you ever go to like a fancy kid birthday party?
Fuck no.
I remember a couple. The one thing was fancy, but just like where the moms put a little bit of creativity in it. Like I remember one where we got like some parent gave like a little sack with some like trinkets in it, so we all got a little
gift bag.
Little gift bag, yeah. Like my birthday parties were a off the shelf birthday cake that you got at a grocery store, and then just run outside.
Like I think we've talked about before. Like birthday parties where I come from were just a sleepover, and it was the only time you ever had a sleepover.
Oh, that's because that was different for me. Yeah,
like so, like if it's my birthday, two friends ride my bus instead of theirs.
Yeah.
Already weird.
it was always one of those times you get to ride another kid's bus, which is always weird. Like,
And then like horse around outside, play with the dogs, whatever, and then always a good meal, and then mom would always bake a cake, get some presents, and then stay up too late playing Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like it was like I look back fondly, like those were always great.
I'm trying to think. I think most of our birthdays were wrapped up before dinner. Get home from
really?
school by 4. I think we were bringing kids home by 6:30. I bet.
You were a town kid though.
Yeah. Well, not all
Or
of us
close
were.
to
Yeah.
town kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then thinking, but then it would get late dropping off some of the other kids that lived out on the farm, like, so some kids, maybe there was real food. I just don't remember it, but I just remember the cake and ice cream mostly. And then, and then the Gucci, again, Gucci probably cost $40, but like we had at that time a resort at a lake that had an inside pool. We're going to kids' birthday parties up there. Got to go swimming inside. I was just like, what kind of life?
Fucking bougie kids.
Right? Yeah. And like looking back at some of those people's parents, they weren't bougie. They just cared about their kids. Like just when their
And
kids
had $40.
Yeah, $40, which my dad smoked in 8 hours.
But would never spend that on a pool party.
Yeah, like what?
For his child.
We can wait 3 months. You can swim outside. What do we swim inside for? Like, Vanderbilt? Or my birthday's in late September. You want to swim? We'll go to Long Lake. You want to swim so bad it ain't that cold.
God.
So yeah, not a lot of Gucci birthdays around from, because that's the thing that like Nelson's like, this is far too fancy for Nelson. But then it comes out that his mom got hit in the head with like a fucking rogue tilt-a-whirl. He must have got like a cash settlement.
Got a cash settlement for it.
Because and it gets kind of sad because Nelson is just like not, he's delusional, thinking, oh, they're just the traffic. Because like, how was 88? 88's way back. There's like a parking lot out there,
Damn it,
Nelson.
88.
Damn
he's
88.
cursing 88.
Yeah, and it's like then he finally realizes, because we have a great like Spider-Man, and he's like, "Hey, you only paid for 10 minutes. I'll be in my car, wait for the other kids to show up."
Yeah,
he like grabs onto his leg. It's like that. Even living in a community big enough to offer that as a thing,
superhero,
is wild to me. Like
I'm a big listener of the Dollop History podcast, and comedian Gareth Reynolds on there did that for a living for a while. He was Spider-Man at kids' birthday parties.
Interesting.
Which I think is very funny. I think that's a very funny, like, I'm a comedian and this is my day job.
But a Saturday afternoon gig probably pays all right.
Yeah, probably pays okay.
Yeah.
And he was in Hollywood at the time. Like,
maybe make like $60 for $100 for 2.5 hours of work or something.
Yeah, if I can put on a Spider-Man suit.
Yeah, what a life. And then he kind of, I think Bart kind of takes pity on him. Then also just like, then that Doc Ock impersonator shows up and they tackle him. And they tear off his fake Dr. Octopus arms and beat him with it. And then we get a montage of them two having fun at the birthday because there's like a piñata and this and that. And this is getting kind of wholesome. Like,
they have a fun little birthday party.
Yeah. And because of that, now he is Nelson's best friend, which this is a good idea for like a plot. Like,
I agree.
He's forced against his will, ends up having more fun than he thought, and it goes too far because that's always a worry when you're a kid. If you befriend the troubled kid, even for once, no one's ever nice to him, so now he thinks you're his best friend.
Yep.
You never want that. So Bart becomes his best friend, and he quickly discovers how possessive Nelson can be. Holy shit, did I laugh. They're outside, I think, must be on recess or something. And Nelson surprises Bart with a case of pool cue chalk. A case of it. How long would a case of that last you? Multiple generations of your family.
Yeah, it looks like he's holding a fucking giant cookie sheet.
Yeah.
Like, it's huge. And his thing is like, now we can make the tip of anything blue. He's so excited.
Yeah. What a thing to steal. And the other story of this is, it's great. It's Marge wants to pick up where they started the night before. The kids interrupted him, so Homer's he's like, ooh, marital sex. Good thing for him to exclaim.
Great thing to shout in front of your child.
Then Lisa calls for him, and he's ready to go, throw down. But Lisa, I want you to read a story. And they will read this story. And then he starts reading, I think it's called Angelica Button. It's a fantasy novel.
It's Harry Potter. Yeah.
And that rung true. This is around the time that adults were reading tons of YA fiction,
Yeah.
And he's really, there's a good visual gag too, where he's reading and Lisa's fast asleep. It's like, well, you can't keep reading. I'm like, because he wakes her up from sleeping to explain an important plot point. No, we'll read more tomorrow. I was like, well, I got to find out. And she's grabbing the book in her sleep, and he's trying to fight it from her, but he can't. And
then he just falls asleep sitting up.
Yeah, sitting on the edge of the bed.
I really like this Homer and Lisa sub-story. It feels a little crowbarred in because it just comes in halfway through the episode. So we apparently needed a little filler. But I like when Homer and Lisa have nice episodes.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And I am sure my parents read to me as a little kid, but it had to have ended early. I don't remember being 8 and getting stories. I remember being 8.
Yeah, I think I was reading.
Yeah.
By 8, I was for sure reading.
Oh,
by
absolutely
8.
you were.
Yeah. So I also don't remember my parents reading to me, but I'll bet anything my mom for sure did.
Yeah. I remember being the age of where you had to, it became, I don't know if it had to be said or if they realized it, that, you don't got to poke your head in here anymore. You know what I mean?
To check on me before bed?
Yeah, I could do this my own. And I don't think it was even I think it happened before puberty. If that makes sense.
Big time.
Yeah, I'm
me
thinking
anyway.
Probably around 10, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there.
I think part of it was architecture in our house because my room was upstairs.
Wow.
And I think my folks probably pretty early on were like, we're not climbing these fucking stairs every day.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
So you got your good nights at the bottom of the stairs, and then you never saw them for the rest of the night. So again, I'm sure it happened, but it was before my memory happened. So.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I can remember. I would say into grade school, but it probably ended somewhere around. Yeah.
I don't remember getting tucked in. Not ever.
Yep.
I'm sure it happened.
Or I'd say, hey, good night, bud. Say your prayers, that kind of thing.
I got some of those. Sure. Yeah. But it was hollered down the stairs.
Oh, really? Yeah. Mine would just usually be from and now that I think about it, if you wanted to go to the main bathroom in the trailer, it was right by my bedroom. So,
okay.
Yeah. Or I also think it's my mom doing late night laundry. Would just poke her head in. And then also she worked nights. I wonder if some of it wasn't her coming home at 9-ish and poking her head.
Oh, sure.
Just
checking.
Yeah, a lot of it was quit reading, turn the light off, go to bed. I was that kid.
That's enough pornography. Yeah.
You're reading pornographic novels. Oh, so lusty.
Oh, sorry, Mother. I forgot the time.
I've somewhere in my life I've stumbled onto some old school pornographic novels. That is a trip.
Like the smutty mom novels?
No,
with Fabio on the cover?
more real deal.
Okay.
Bought it at an adult bookstore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's what that title springs from. There was once a time that was one of your sources of porn.
Erotic fiction.
Yeah, but meant for men, so it's very graphic.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was, I don't want to throw names out, a buddy, more tertiary childhood friend's dad had a couple that we stole.
Okay.
I just remember the word spunk being in it a lot. I was like, what do they mean by spunk?
These artists,
He's
these
talking
writers.
a lot about spunk. I also remember my dad reading a series they're like called Long Arrow or Quicksilver, probably Long Arrow, some kind of graphic phallic thing. They were a Western series, but they had a little bit of sexy time in them too.
Maybe not full on.
Yeah, it wasn't like
pornographic.
talking about fucking hard-ons or anything. But,
No, it's just called Long Arrow.
yeah, but it was yeah. I'm reading a couple of those, like, ooh, this is spicy caliente.
You're a creative writing master, Nathan.
I could be.
You should be pumping out.
There's a dearth in the market of right now of erotic novels. That could be me.
Like, you could be the next 50 Shades, except yours would be good.
There we go. Thank you.
Those books are garbage.
I have heard. I've heard it's very bad for the BDSM community too.
Yeah.
It does not put them in a good light. It reinforces a lot of stereotypes that we should be getting rid of.
Yeah, a lot of ignoring safe words in those books, which
Ooh.
is not how you do it.
That ain't how that works.
That's
one bit.
assault, then.
It's assault, brother. So, I got to get back to where I'm at here. So now it's Homer has to fight the urge to read ahead because Lisa's very adamant about that not taking place. And this is one of the few ones where the stories are pretty equal at this point, like the Homer, Lisa, and the Bart Nelson. And now Nelson has given him a vest, a Nelson vest, and we get a montage that's aping Goodfellas.
The Goodfellas
where it's just
shot.
him reaping the benefits of being with one of the bullies. Because it starts with the other bullies being told to take it easy on Bart now. He's he's part of my gang.
And Bart's really loving
And that's what made him
Nelson as a
realize,
protector.
wait a second.
Yeah.
There's where after all of that, after he's living this exciting life, it's when Milhouse runs up to him. I've shaved my head. Nelson with that shaved head. And I was like, and then he's like, yeah, it's okay. I don't really want to hang out. He's like, what's wrong? Like, I never thought I'd see you as a sidekick. Mm-hmm. And that gets Bart right in the ego. And he's like, I'm not no sidekick. Oh, you're not no sidekick? Well, then I guess you could just fly a kite with anyone you want. Catch such a great Milhouse turning the screw there. Like, yeah, I could fly a kite. Man, that's one of those. It's not quite only on TV because I think I had a couple kites over the years. But boy, that when I was 10 years old, the list of things to do on a summer day, fucking kite flying was 49th on that list.
I had a kite.
And we live in kite flying country. Probably no better kite flying country in America than rural North Dakota. With all the wind we have, the lack of power lines.
Yeah. I had a pretty bougie kite.
Did you really?
Not a fucking cheap ass diamond shaped Kmart
See,
kite. I had a good ass kite.
And when you get a good windy day, you can get that kite way up there too. I was like, I don't think kites were, but then they'd always get tangled and ruined, and then they just got forgotten about.
Oh, there was always pretty good kite flying at my house. Not to brag.
See, that is a good solo activity for a kid.
Oh yeah.
Because as with kids, it became my turn, and all of a sudden there's a fucking kite in an electric fence because there's two brothers rolling in a fist fight.
Yeah. Like we talked about last week, what was I supposed to do with a squirt gun? But I can do a kite.
So I like how the story turns now, because now he goes back to the Muntz household.
Yeah.
There's Nelson just waiting. Oh, where have you been? And it becomes like a possessive relationship. You know, like
Now Nelson's the bad boyfriend.
Yep. And he's like, oh, that's interesting because these photographs prove that it's just photos of Bart and Milhouse having the time of their life.
Just extremely wholesome kite fun.
And then it's like jumping rope with the twins, I think. Yeah. Like, and Nelson, when I get angry, I do, or like when this happens, I get angry. I do things like destroy my own camera. And he crushes that digital camera. So I thought that was, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. I really enjoyed this episode too.
Yeah, me too.
And Nelson's very angry. And then we get kind of a quick cut back to because now we just know, things are weird between them two now. Nelson realizes it's not everything's perfect in the world of Nelson and Bart. And now we get Homer. Turns out Lisa's staying at a friend's house, and he's holding the book, which you shouldn't be doing. Get that out of your hand. Mm-hmm. And he looks at the dust jacket, and the author's now talking to him to read ahead. And he is a man of very little gumption, so he, of course, can't resist.
He told Lisa he wouldn't read ahead.
And, of course, he does. And the protagonist, helpful, must be some kind of wizard's helper in the Harry Potter type thing, has some magic mustache. He ends up getting killed.
Yeah.
And he's devastated by it. And then it just becomes, he has a moral dilemma. He's he doesn't want Lisa to have to go through the same punishment. So that's the thing. The next time he rewrites it on the fly. Because he's reading it. It's obviously Lisa knows this is not how this goes. Because there's a big final battle. He just ad-libs the end where his mustache now can move and he beats him up with his mustache.
Yeah.
And Lisa knows it's not real. I'm trying to think how she says it to Homer. Does she call him out on it right away?
She pushes back against it, but then at least pretends to accept what he
I
says.
like your ending more,
Yeah.
So it's kind of wholesome.
Yeah, it was a very sweet ending to that plot, because he leaves. He even has the line. He says, or maybe it's just in his head, now Lisa won't know about death until it strikes someone close to her.
Yeah.
Which I was like, Jesus Christ, Homer. And then he walks out of the room, and then she, little devil that she is, pulls out another copy of the book from under her pillow and reads the actual ending.
Oh, really?
And is like, I like Dad's better.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, that is a sweet end to that story. But cut back to Bart. He's now terrified of Nelson. And he's looking around, very nervous. He opens his locker, and Nelson's in his locker. And Nelson pulls him in. I do like that Chalmers and Skinner walk by, and they hear a confrontation inside a locker. That's just best to leave it alone.
Best not to get involved.
And you assume it's going to be Nelson threatening Bart. But he's like, no, Bart, you're a crummy friend. You're only friends with me because of what you could gain from being around me. And I'm worth more than that. It's like, I did not see that swerve happening.
Yeah.
That he would be the one that recognizes that there was a super flawed relationship. But still, in Bart's head, that means he's angry at me. And he's like, you get your affairs in order. It's like something about I have a life insurance policy that's not tax deductible. It's like, it is after 2008. Read the fine print.
Yeah. Do your homework.
Then there's a field trip to the ocean coming up, and everyone has to be paired with a buddy. And of course, Bart is paired with Nelson. So he's like, oh my God, we're going to go out in the ocean, and Nelson's going to drown me, which that kind of looks like it's going to happen until they get out there and shit goes sideways. I think the tide comes in, and we have a little bit of a confrontation between the two of them. It doesn't go like Bart thinks it's going to go.
Right.
Yeah. Nelson's just also kind of almost more mature of the two at that point.
Yeah, totally.
And then the tide, they kind of get trapped under kind of an underwater thing as the tide rises, almost a cave. And he gets a scuba respirator for Bart. He's like, where'd you get it? It's like, a guy gave it to me. Cut to a drowning scuba guy. Just dead, floating in the water, underwater.
With bubbles coming. Still motionless. Nelson killed that man.
Yep. And it cuts to Bart waking up to Skinner giving him CPR.
Yeah.
And they're all like, Skinner loves Bart. And it was something. It was like, well, what happened to Nelson? Nelson didn't wake up because he never passed out.
Yeah.
He's been awake this whole time.
That's a fun bit.
And then it kind of ends. And then, he kind of has a last talk with Nelson. And Nelson's kind of just like, hey, you're not my friend. You're not, we're not. Well, back to where we were. And if you look, he appears to be playing air guitar on a hermit crab.
Yep, he's air guitaring a hermit crab.
What is going? Yeah, God, I laughed at that. And then you cut back to the house. It's Bart in his room, and Lisa's talking to him. And then kind of like, guess we're back to square one with Nelson. And then just as you think it's over, Nelson rides bike and throws a vest into the window, and Bart grabs the Nelson vest. He's like, ha ha, I touched your heart.
I touched your heart. Yeah.
Then Cut to Homer in the bar, and he's drunk. And the line, "No man should outlive his fictional wizard," was so good.
That's very funny.
Again, this is a good batch of episodes. I really enjoyed this one.
This probably my favorite of the whole batch,
Yeah.
and I liked this whole batch. So, and this being the cherry on top.
Yeah.
18's off to a good start.
Like there were episodes in 17 and also through the last several seasons where all of a sudden it's like it's over, and I'm like, oh, that's it. Like, I don't think I laughed. Like,
I bet if you graphed this out and really stood back far away from it, I think we're on an upswing from, say, like 15. I think we're steadily. I think 16 was better than 15, 17 better than 16. You know, it might be a slow climb, but I think we're coming back up.
I think 17 was a dip from 16, but I'm with you. There was a lull around 12 or 13 somewhere, I think. Yeah.
I think the longer this goes, I think we're coming out of it a little.
It'll be interesting to see what the 20s are like.
There were a couple fucking jokes in this last episode. Right out the fucking gate, I got a fucking snort because I wasn't ready for it because we just finished the title sequence. Bart and Lisa are running down the hall, and Lisa's going, "Mom, Bart's drinking coffee," and Bart has a mug running behind her and goes, "It's not coffee, it's hot Pepsi."
Yeah, I forgot.
Just so matter-of-factly, like, that's fucking gross. You imagine drinking a mug of hot Pepsi?
Oh, God.
That sounds like a punishment that you would give someone in a drinking game.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you didn't slap the king in time, so you got to drink the hot Pepsi.
You put your thumbs at the edge of the table quick enough.
Yeah,
You're the last
that's like the
one to do it.
dishwasher 40.
Yeah. What's that?
You run a 40 ounce of malt liquor through the dishwasher, and as soon as it's done spraying, you open the door and have someone has to drink the dishwasher 40.
Oh, really?
Because it's been spun around in there the whole time, and it's hot as fuck.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. The dishwasher 40 is the ultimate of drinking game punishments that I wouldn't wish on fucking anybody.
No, thank you.
You
Yeah.
want to drink a piping hot OE that's been shook up for 20 minutes?
Sick.
And then after they catch their folks in bed, but it's that milk dud scene where Bart's shaking with his milk duds. When Nelson turns to Bart and says, "Well, look at it this way, Bart. Trust me, it's better to walk in on both your parents than just one of them."
Yeah. Oh,
Holy
that's Milhouse.
shit.
Yeah.
When Milhouse says that, because you know that it's Kirk.
Yeah,
and
right.
think of how sad that must have been to see.
I was assuming he meant his mom and the American Gladiator guy.
No, I'm
It's just
assuming
Kirk.
one of them.
Oh, boy, that's sad.
Yeah.
God, that is good.
That's such a good joke. Because you have to assume it's Kirk. And that can't be a joyful occasion for sure.
That from a few episodes back, that when he is in that recliner is under his video poker and chintzy pop. Does it get any better than this?
Oh, fuck. That little Tiger Electronics poker game.
What a Friday night.
Yeah. Nothing better, says Kirk Van Houten.
Oh, man. Good times.
We did it, brother. Another batch.
Did it.
In the bag.
Getting into the meat of season 18
Yeah,
now.
let's get into the thick of season 18.
9 through 13?
We will do 9 through 13 next week.
We're totally in the middle already.
Yep. These go by quick, dog.
Yeah,
We're in season 18 of The Simpsons. Follow us online, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Barley Basket USA. Email the show, barleybasketUSA@gmail.com. Still looking for a show in Columbus, a comedy show. So from what I understand, Nathan, our episodes are long, and it takes new listeners a while to catch up.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm assuming that some of our Columbus folks aren't caught up yet.
Right, okay.
And they haven't been hearing these cries just yet.
They're still thinking they want to get attention from retired NBA players.
Exactly.
That's the thing I really pushed hard in the first 10 to 20 episodes.
You went very hard in the paint trying to get Bo Dallas on this show.
Yeah, you mean Bo
Outlaw. Sorry.
We'll take Bo Dallas.
Bo Dallas. Oh, Bo Dallas.
Pro
is a
wrestler kid, yeah. I'll take stories about growing up with Mike Rotunda.
Oh God,
Barry Windham be your
Yeah.
uncle?
Yeah.
Kendall Windham? Hell,
Look at you.
Kendall Windham, are you listening right now? Holy shit. It's Blackjack Mulligan. I think he maybe passed.
I think Blackjack might be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. R.I.P. Blackjack Mulligan.
I hope we can get Kendall Windham on the show
Yeah,
just
right?
for you,
oh,
buddy.
my God. Please, Kendall.
You and I are telling jokes this weekend.
We sure are.
You're the one who books these shows, and I've already forgotten where we're going or what the date is.
Rothsay, Minnesota.
Rothsay.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact date would be. It'd be the Friday. Calendars are nice to have.
It is the 3rd
3rd. Ooh, there we go.
of December.
3rd of December. Do you remember?
Come see us tell some funny ha-has.
You think you're better than us? I don't think you can avoid these
You get
shows?
very defensive right away, all the time, Nathan.
I do go hard, but that's because I care. I care so much.
I've got a mid to late aughts dance playlist put together for you.
Ooh.
So you can really shake them wet cakes
There we
coming
go.
fresh out the
Oh,
shower.
boy. That wet, moist clap.
Lay down some towels. Gross.
Step on some dirty clothes. I don't have enough clean towels. Oh, and then Saturday, I'm playing Judd, North Dakota, which sounds like a Children of the Corn town.
Oh, yes. You will be in Judd on Saturday.
Judd, Oklahoma.
I'm
But
not on that show,
think
but
you're-
you will be.
You're getting your beauty sleep because you got to get on a jet plane.
Yep.
Big old jet airliner.
I am not able to do that show because come Sunday morning, I will be heading out, leaving on a jet plane in order to go visit some friends in Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh,
So
friends are fun.
looking forward to that.
Yeah. Oh, rest of us will be slaving away on the road.
Yeah, slaving away over a hot comedy stove.
Talk about Bob
in
Seger. We're
Judd.
be turning the page while
Yeah.
you're vacation boy.
Is it woman? Is it man?
Yeah, vacation boy. Get your hair done like those kids.
I don't know how hot of a take this is.
Yeah.
I don't like Bob Seger.
It's not as hot of a take as your anti-Tom Petty sentiment.
For what it's worth, I dislike Bob Seger more than I dislike Tom Petty. I would put Tom Petty above Bob Seger.
Okay, yeah.
Bob Seger has one song that's worth a shit, and it's a banger. It's Night Moves.
Oh, so I think Turn the Page is a very good song, too.
Nah.
Yeah,
I think
Page, yeah.
Metallica did it way better, and I don't really care for theirs either.
Yeah, Night
So
Moves is a good song. Well, Bob Seger also be known like a rock. I don't need to hear that again, but
no.
I think
Fucking old time rock and roll.
Oh, I don't need to hear
easily his biggest hit.
yeah, that doesn't do a whole lot for me. Kind of Night Moves is a jam though.
Night Moves is a jam.
Yep.
Little too tall, gonna use a few pounds. That's a fucking good song. That song's
Mm-hmm.
about fucking.
Yeah. Not to be that graphic. We're trying to get the youth market on here.
Oh, well, they need to know
They
what
need
these
to know
Bob
what
Seger songs are about.
Because kids these days are getting into the Bob Seger. Bob Seger's a gateway drug.
Yeah.
It's first, hey, Bob Seger's fun. Hey, shove a Tide Pod up your ass. See what
Yeah.
happens.
Bob Seger's a gateway to the Silver Bullet Band.
To what they're calling Tide Pods is the Silver Bullet.
Yeah.
Keister these
That's what it's
Silver
called
Bullets.
when you're bird dogging Tide Pods. They're calling it the Silver
And
Bullet.
finally, the body heat's going to pop that thing, and you're the middle of geography class. You got all that soap rushing through your veins.
Oh, God.
You foaming, Doc?
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ. Get that light brown foam flipping off the edge of your chair. Jesus.
What happened to you last night? Oh, I got into the froth. Yeah, it was a bad scene.
I forgot I was keystering a Tide Pod. I think popped on me and I was in the middle of the line for popcorn at the movies.
It's like a drug balloon going off in you.
Yeah. God, to be in line behind someone to get a popcorn and you hear a dull bass thud. And just like, huh, remember that, you know? The percussive thud, just that pop. And just all of a sudden the guy in front of you is just a complexion change. Ooh, jeez. I don't think
I don't think I want popcorn
I have to
anymore.
skip the previews. I'm gonna have to hit the men's room.
I don't even want to go to the movies.
Taking a piss beside someone in a stall that is shitting out a Tide Pod remnant.
Whew. Brother, you got to go to the hospital.
Yeah. This cannot be touched up with napkins.
Oh, shit. They're not going to let you back in that theater.
Ooh.
Phew. All right. Well, everyone, enjoy your week. We'll tell some jokes, and then you'll tell some jokes, and then I'll fly on a plane. We got a whole thing
Look
going
at all
on.
the things. So many things.
We, much like X, we really gave it to this
We
episode.
really did. We did our best.
Everybody enjoy your weeks.
Bye, everybody.